Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. But in today's video, we are doing a twin flame reading, of course, because it is Wednesday. And for those of you who are familiar with this channel, we do channel twin flame readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to all of you who are tuning into this reading live. Listening to the readings as these live premiered videos tunes you in, taps you in with our really high vibrational, beautiful collective of souls here. So I do recommend trying to make it to one of these live readings if you haven't yet been able to catch one of those. In today's reading, I am setting the intention to channel more information to bring us some clarity specifically regarding the heart chakra activations that have been happening in waves recently through the Twin Flame Collective, but especially through the Divine Masculine Collective. This is something we've been channeling a lot of information about, because if you are the Divine Feminine, you have actually been feeling any shifts that your masculine has experienced through the heart center. However, some of these signs and symptoms may actually feel as though they are coming from within yourself, whether it's feeling more emotional than usual, whether it's having these physical chest or heart center sensations. So if you would like more information on how this heart chakra activation of one twin can affect the other twin, the kinds of signs and symptoms of your twin flame opening their hearts, I actually did a podcast video specifically on that yesterday. So the link to that will be in the description box. But otherwise, I want to really channel more so in this reading the real-time information about how this heart chakra activation for the masculines could be showing up in this connection in the physical world, in the 3D. But besides that, I also, of course, do intend to channel both 3D messages, information about communication, interaction, things happening in the physical 3D world within your connection, but also 5D messages, higher self messages, what the twins want to say to one another if all of their guard was down on that higher self level. So whatever information we don't get to in this reading will be available in the extended. I will let you know as we go which messages are going to be reserved for the extended reading. And as always, the extended readings that I channel are available to those of you who are parts of our Patreon Soul Tribe community. So the link to learn more about that extended reading is in the pinned comment and description box under this video. So if you would like me to channel a specific message for you, your twin, and your situation, to bring the clearest messages through from this reading, I do recommend liking this video and also subscribing to this channel, because these actions, liking and subscribing, actually connects you in more strongly with our collective here on YouTube. And as a result of that, I'm able to pick up on your specific energy a bit more easily. Okay, 2 cards just flew out of the deck here. Also, I did mean to mention this in the intro. I am hoping that more information on this comes up through the reading, but I am going to let the cards kind of guide me into this or guide me through this. But I have been feeling a bit of throat chakra energy coming up in the Divine Feminine Collective, specifically throat sensations like feeling almost a lump in your throat or feeling some throat tightness or even a dry throat. So I feel intuitively this is connecting in with something related to communication going on between the twins. And it makes sense because, as I discussed in my recent podcast yesterday on twin flame heart opening signs, twin flame communication actually happens predominantly through the heart and secondarily through the throat chakra, because twin flames actually do most of their communication automatically, energetically, subconsciously, and they are most strongly energetically connected through the heart center. So with all of these recent heart center activations for the masculine, it's only natural that this could also be impacting the communication between the twins. And of course, this would be felt through the throat chakra center as well, considering the throat chakra is the traditional seat of communication. Also, I did want to let you know that the state of Mississippi came out in the love word scramble, if that connects with anyone. I also heard South in general. It could be the south of a country, the south of a state. There's something about that direction. This could also be metaphoric. This could be someone feeling as though something in their connection is taking some kind of a dive, or as we sometimes say, going south, going in this kind of, from this person's perspective, feeling as though things are moving in the wrong direction at times, or that there's this kind of backsliding taking place. And if it comes out in the reading, I will channel more information on that. I do want to get into the cards coming out here right now, but I do just want to note on that, if that is you, if you feel as though things are backsliding or going south, so to speak, in your connection, know that there's an element of illusion there. I don't feel that things are actually going backwards. It's just that there's something about your situation creating this kind of triggering feeling, this buying into the illusion in some sense that things are going in this direction, backsliding, backtracking, etc., when I feel there's a deeper level truth to that will bring you deeper peace. And I do hope that comes up later. But for now, I do want to get into these two cards that were really flying out of the deck right away. Very powerful energy coming through from some of you and your connections. And this was the cornucopia card and the door to romance card, both in the upright position. These are extremely positive cards. When it comes to love, you could hardly get two more positive cards together from this deck, because cornucopia speaks to manifestation, speaks to wishes fulfilled, and the door to romance card speaks to the door opening in love, opportunities opening up, presenting themselves. I heard connections being made, whether this is connections with new potential partners in your life, new offers coming in, or that will be coming in, because I'm hearing for some of you that might happen later on in the months of late March, April, and May. But also this can speak to a deepening of a current connection for some of you who are more physically 3D connected with your twin at this time. So I'm going to see if I can get more information on how this applies, because although these cards are very positive, they're also very generalized kinds of messages. So we're going to start in this general place and get more specific as we go. Storm warning in the upright position. So this storm warning card, these metaphorical storms represented by this card, are actually the catalyst for now the cornucopia, the wishes being fulfilled, the door to romance opening. So there's a strong sense of irony here, a sense of through the storms, your desires are being fulfilled. Through the storms, doors are opening for you. Doors to fulfillment, abundance in all forms, life, monetary abundance, career abundance, connection abundance, and of course, abundance of love. And this actually could be why there is someone feeling as though things are, as we said earlier, going south, going the wrong direction. This could be your ego seeing the storm when your soul sees And of course, as I was about to finish that sentence, the Healer of the Ages card came out. Your soul sees the healing, the growth, the expansion, but your ego sees the storms. So I feel as though there is a bit of confusion that comes into play at time to time here for you, for whoever this message is connecting with, because it may feel as though you're flipping back and forth between this fixation on the storms, either things that happened in the past that were very turbulent in your life or in this connection, or even things continuing to the present, flipping from that to this knowing of the heart, of the soul, that things are shifting for you, that things are healing. And from the Hidden Truth Oracle, you were the best thing in my life. And I feel that this card is wanting to make its way through now because it's speaking to the dawning realization that the collective masculine is having through this healing process, this expansion process, this more recent heart chakra activation that is actually being pushed forward through the storms of life, whether it's storms in their personal life, feelings of chaos, turbulence, uncertainty, or storms that came up in your connection. Know that these storms, whether you are remembering them or experiencing them, there's a hidden truth here, as the Hidden Truth Oracle card deck is aptly named. And the hidden truth is this masculine is realizing you were the best thing in my life, divine feminine, meaning that he's learning to truly value the divine feminine on this deeper level by actually reconnecting with his inner divine feminine through the catalyzing power of these storms. Wow, very, very strong messages coming through right away. And from the love word scramble, the word swept came out, and I really heard everything is swept away that is not aligned with this masculine's higher self, but more accurately, it's this feeling as though there was this destruction in the masculine's life, this crumbling, this falling apart, whether it was emotionally, this kind of dark night of the soul experience, whether this was loss in his connections, in the twin flame connection, specifically in work, in career, in finances. There was this kind of fall from grace or fall from power in the 3D happening for the masculine. However, I see it's like all of this wreckage of his life, all of these remnants of that former self and that former life, although those may still at times seem to be affecting your connection, they are in the process of being swept away. They are being cleared away at this time. And I feel that's part of why this heart chakra activation is deepening for the masculines to catalyze the process, to speed up the process of clearing away all of this wreckage of what has already passed. It's like this energy of something having already being broken, whether it's a way of being in the past, a karmic cycle, a karmic pattern, and yet the remnants of that broken situation still being a bit present, still affecting at times this masculine or the physical realities of his twin flame connection. And yet what this divine feminine on the other side of this is being guided to see is that through these heart chakra activations, that wreckage, those remnants of a former self for the masculine are being cleared away, allowing him to open himself up more profoundly in all respects, including in ways connected specifically to their communication and interactions in the physical world. Wow, very, very strong messages in today's reading. Thank you to all of you who brought your powerful energies to this reading, because I'm feeling so much coming through here in terms of messages. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle the cards here. By the way, in the extended version of this reading, I am going to channel more messages on potential storms coming up, either specifically within this masculine's personal life or more broadly speaking within his twin flame connection, to the Divine Feminine, how these storms are affecting him, but also what wreckage, what remnants of previous patterns, specifically even karmic patterns or cycles that were broken, what remnants of those are remaining and at the same time being cleared away by this heart chakra activation. So if you would like more information on that, that will be available through the extended, which again is linked in the pinned comment and description box under this video. Okay, so now the 3 cards to come out of the deck are the 4th chakra, which significantly is the heart chakra, because we've been talking about this heart chakra activation for the divine masculines, but also the cards deceit in the upright position and cornucopia in the reverse position. So I feel these cards are launching us right into more messages on how this heart chakra opening happening most recently for the masculines is affecting them or has affected this connection, specifically with these deceit cards and cornucopia reversed. I see this speaking to a past dynamic that is being addressed and cleared out through this heart center activation, specifically deceit, the holding up, the keeping up with some kind of illusion. I also heard that phrase, keeping up with the Joneses, like that idea of trying to fit in with the people around him or even impress the people around him who potentially he didn't even really feel that connected with or that close to, but it was this ego-driven need to be seen in a certain light, in a certain way, to be perceived by others in a certain way. Because in truth, and I feel this may be the truth beneath the surface, is this masculine wasn't willing to fully see himself, for who he truly was beneath all the layers, beneath the surface level illusions. And so he tried to kind of construct this image of himself so he could live or kind of have a self-image by proxy through what other people believed him to be. It's like if other people believed me to be successful or happy or connected or whatever the case was for this masculine, then he would have this kind of false construct of self-image without actually needing to self-examine, to look at himself as he really is and develop that core confidence from within. But also this deceit card, this illusion card, I feel this could be speaking to, I heard self-protecting lies. So there could be a masculine who in the past may have presented mistruths to the divine feminine, either in literal things that they would say that were not true, or just a way that they would present themselves that to the divine feminine seemed like it was some form of manipulation of the truth or some form of mistruth. With blossoming abundance uprights, interesting. I'm actually going to read a little bit from the guidebook for this card to see how it connects. Increasing wealth and value. Interesting. I'm going to pull a few more cards to see how this connects specifically with the reading. So how is this blossoming abundance card connected? Okay, patience in the reverse position. So what I'm really getting is that there's a divine feminine here looking at this dynamic of deceit, whether it was literal deceit in the form of lies or simply in the presentation of some kind of an illusion from a space of self-protection from this masculine. I see her increasing her sense of inner worth and inner value, planting these seeds for a new version of self, a new life. And the more that she began to fully tap into her value, her worth, within, she began to, I'm hearing from her perception, I just got fed up with this dynamic of illusion. I wanted something tangible. I wanted something real. I became very impatient. And specifically, her greatest point of impatience, I feel, was connected with this cornucopia card in the reverse position, wishes delayed. I see this frustration, feeling as though things are constantly pushed back, whether it's setting a date to get together, whether it's some milestone in their connection, some movement forward. There's this feeling of every time we try to move things forward, there's some kind of a delay or some kind of a pushback on the side of the masculine here. And I see this leading to increasing frustration for the divine feminine. Yeah, appreciation in the upright position. I hear divine feminine saying, I didn't feel fully valued. And so I discovered how to fully value myself, to increase my sense of self-love. There's a strong independence attached to this card. However, I feel that this newfound strength and sense of inner value for this divine feminine could have led to some kind of culmination moment, some kind of storm, some turbulence within her connection to the masculine, because he realized that in some sense he was losing her, or that's how it felt from his perspective, regardless of whether there was some actual 3D shift or change in their connection. This masculine energetically, emotionally felt as though she was slipping away, but really what was happening is he was being called to a change. And I want to see if I can get a card from the Hidden Truth Oracle about how this masculine was feeling through all of this. How is this masculine feeling about all of this? I want you. Wow, such a simple yet powerful statement. It's such a clear statement. And I feel this sets up a strong contrast to how this masculine could have acted before this moment. There could have been this feeling of kind of being wishy-washy, of not really either being clear about what he wanted or not taking the action steps, putting in the work or the action or the 3D support behind what he was saying that he wanted. So that could have also impacted this connection. But again, the overarching key theme here is these are things that are being cleared out. These are past dynamics that could still be affecting your connection in the present, possibly. But even if they are, these are things that are being swept away, as we channeled earlier. And again, there will be more information in the extended on Patreon, specifically on how karmic cycles and patterns are broken for the masculine and are now being cleared out. And the link to the extended is again in the pinned comment and description box. So the solar plexus chakra card came out here. This connects with our sense of confidence. I also saw the number 333 just a moment ago. And I feel this masculine saying, I thought that I was confident, or I presented myself as being confident, but really I was weak. There's a masculine telling me that there's a side of him that his ego considers to be weak, so he tries to never show this side to anyone. This is a very soft, sweet, gentle side to this masculine. And I feel as though this side of him, it's like a very childlike almost side. It's like a child that just wants to be held and just wants to be loved and just wants to be seen and heard. It's truly, symbolically speaking, this masculine's inner child. And I see him trying to bury alive this child inside himself that longs to love and be loved, that still has that sense of childlike, carefree joy and innocence. And I see this masculine, again, trying to bury that, really his authentic self beneath all of these layers of illusion that he's constructed around himself so others perceive him a certain way. But what I'm picking up on here is that this masculine showed this side of himself to one person and one person only, and that was the Divine Feminine. She was the only one who saw this within him, and that's actually part of how his soul recognized her and recognized this connection. He knew that she was the only one who truly, truly saw him, because she saw that side of himself. The Envy card reverse came out here, speaking to unfulfillment, negatively affecting this connection, a feeling of lack. But it's some kind of illusion of lack. It's like I hear Spirit saying everything that this masculine wanted was actually right in front of him. It was literally within his reach. And yet, because of this wounded energy, because he was living from a state of ego dominance, he couldn't grasp. It's like literally everything being right there in front of you you've ever wanted, but this masculine couldn't grasp it, couldn't grab a hold of it, because he was being blocked in a sense by this ego that was really a self-protection mechanism, trying to protect that part of himself within, that wounded inner child within, that again, only the Divine Feminine had seen. And so there was this constant searching for something outside of himself that he truly was being called to find within. In another sense, because this masculine was living in a state of disconnection from his highly emotional, sensitive side, what we think of traditionally as the feminine energy, he was actually disconnecting himself from his own inner Divine Feminine. So naturally, because our connection within our inner masculine and inner feminine reflects in our connection, this pushback by the masculine against his true emotional experience, his so-called inner Divine Feminine, actually caused him to push back against the 3D physical counterpart of the Divine Feminine as well. So what else is going on right now for this Divine Masculine in the 3D? What else is happening for this masculine in the 3D physical world? The word plant came out here. I see someone having a lot of plants or buying a new plant or something like that, but that will probably just be for one person. For most people, I'm getting that this is a metaphor. It's the idea of planting a new seed. What new seed is this masculine planting? Blossoming abundance in the upright position. Wow, this is a mirrored card because this card just came out for the Divine Feminine. I said the Divine Feminine was increasing her sense of worth and inner value. And this card is now coming out for the masculine because the feminine, in rising in her power and increasing her own sense of value and worth, she is actually calling the masculine to that same level, that recognition of his own inner value and worth, which I know for many. By the way, the victory card came out here speaking that he will be and is being victorious in this. There is a lot of major growth and expansion happening for the masculine. In my last reading, I channeled this as kind of being like a seed being planted in the earth and multiplying thousands of times over beneath the surface of the earth. So you can't see how much it's growing, changing, and expanding, but it is happening all the same. And that's what I feel from the collective Divine Masculine right now. And specifically what he's shifting out of is this Envy card reversed, those feelings of dissatisfaction, those feelings of lack, which regardless of, I almost hear masculine saying to the Divine Feminine that something was just missing from our connection, either saying that with words or saying it through actions, through how he behaved in the physical. He made the Divine Feminine feel as though he must have thought that something wasn't enough about her or about this connection. But the truth here is this masculine was simply feeling deeply unfulfilled within himself and projecting that outward onto their connection, because naturally when he had this disconnect from his own inner self and was desperately seeking to find a way to fill that hole within himself, the connection that comes along like a twin flame connection and is naturally, effortlessly, profoundly connecting him with those depths of his being, with his vulnerability, with his authenticity. If he hasn't yet solidified that reconnection within himself, naturally, he is going to continue those patterns of seeking externally, of feeling as though something is missing, or acting as though he doesn't want this connection, or it's not enough, because again, there's that pushback against his inner divine feminine, his inner emotional experience, resulting in this pushback in the external. But the beautiful thing happening here is this heart chakra activation is breaking this masculine wide open. Because the heart center is so connected with emotion, with feeling, what is happening for this masculine is he is being divinely, deeply reconnected with his own emotional experience, aka his own divine feminine within, the divine feminine energy within himself that is in tune, in touch with those emotions. The answers you need are coming. I'm picking up on a divine feminine who feels as though she's been left hanging in some way, feeling as though somehow she's been left wondering what's going to happen, if anything's going to happen, how this is going to turn out. It's almost like getting to the end of a chapter in a book and then being left on a major cliffhanger. I hear this feminine saying, I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm choosing to grow and change in my life. But the big question mark for this divine feminine is, masculine, where are you? Are you coming along with me for this journey? Or am I leaving you behind in the physical? Of course, there is no leaving behind between twin flames on a soul level, but you get what I mean. There's this energy of what is going to happen next between us, being held in suspense. But this card means the answers you need are coming in, divine feminine. If you feel like you've been left hanging, if you feel like there's been some kind of cliffhanger, I do feel there's going to be the next chapter opening up for you. Going back to that door to romance in the upright position, the next chapter is coming. Full moon in Gemini, and significantly, Gemini season is coming in May, June of this year. So this also is interesting because earlier I was talking about how I felt that something major was shifting, especially around the end of spring. I think I said specifically in regards to potentially communication or something like that between twins. So this could really mean that in Gemini season of this year, there could be evidence, a showing up in the physical of some of these energetic shifts that have been taking place beneath the surface. So in the extended version of this reading, I will channel more specifics on what you can expect moving into Gemini season, some potential changes or shifts that could show up in your connection in this coming summer. So the link to the extended again is in the pinned comment and description box. I feel like we've been speaking a lot to the divine masculine, so I do want to have a conversation now with the 3D physical self of the divine feminine. Specifically, let's channel some more information on that throat chakra sensation I was describing earlier. That feeling of almost there being a lump in the throat or a kind of throat tightness or dryness. I don't feel this is affecting all of the divine feminine collectively. Also, do keep in mind we can feel and interpret energy differently, so we can be experiencing the same energetic shift as divine feminines collectively through the throat chakra. Some may feel this in different ways. So for some, there could be emotional effects of this. It could be physical effects for others. So do keep that in mind. And as always, only take what resonates with you. But I want to know why this divine feminine is feeling these throat or throat chakra sensations. Envy in the reverse position. I'm actually going to read a little bit from the guidebook for this card. Continue to release any old feelings of lack, and specifically I heard fear. Whenever those thoughts or emotions come up, You're well on your way to a completely gratifying life, and your genuine acknowledgement of the value within and around you will only keep drawing more value to you. And the affirmation here is, I don't normally read the affirmation, but it feels really relevant. I let go of lack, or other words, I let go of fear. I look at the blessings in my life with joy and satisfaction. I am glad. I'm feeling this could be literally connected to unconscious anxiety, meaning that this divine feminine may not be fully aware of these anxieties, but they're surfacing from the subconscious mind. And what could be happening here is there are feelings of lack, which is essentially a form of fear, coming up unconsciously for the divine feminine, causing her to feel these uncomfortable at times throat chakra sensations. And specifically, I'm hearing lack in regards to love, money, career. I feel that this lack for this divine feminine, this fear coming up unconsciously for her, could be connecting with something that has shifted or changed a lot in a positive direction in her life. But there's this feeling of, I'm scared the other shoe is going to drop. Let me know if that resonates for anyone. But I feel this divine feminine thinking, what if the floor falls through of this beautiful thing that I've created? I'm specifically seeing a house. So there could be someone trying to manifest a new home or relocate, move homes. Or there could be someone who did manifest a new home, or even a new place to live, metaphorically speaking, a new environment, even within themselves. This could be a divine feminine who's gone through a profound spiritual transformation, who has transformed her inner world, become more confident. For some, this could be related to a career or a business that has actually been doing really well, and this divine feminine has made a lot of progress. But these feelings that could be coming up at this time could be related to the surfacing of unconscious fears and anxieties. If this is resonating with you, I do really recommend finding some kind of tool to address unconscious patterns of fear, lack, and anxiety, however they may be affecting you personally. My favorite tool for this is, of course, subliminal affirmations tracks. I've been listening to subliminals for years to assist myself in shifting out of these patterns of lack mentality, of fear, of anxiety that really become deeply rooted in the subconscious and can affect us in these ways that can feel very out of the blue, very confusing, even physical. We can feel these subconscious negative patterns at times through our physical bodies. So it's really important to release them at the roots. And to help you with this, I do recommend exploring around my subliminal site, soundandsoulful.com. I do have over 100 different subliminals for all different areas of life, so you can really select and even combine into playlists these subliminals that resonate most with what you are trying to shift, to break free from in regards to your own subconscious patterns you could be holding on to, or that could be holding you back from magnetizing your energy for whatever you desire. Specifically for what's coming up here, I would recommend looking into my subliminals for deep anxiety relief and also for throat chakra activation. So I will leave links to more information on those in the pinned comment and description box. But again, there are many different subliminals for you to explore on the website. And these are just really powerful tools to help you break free of these negative and negatively impacting subconscious patterns that we can absorb through society, through our upbringing, through our past life experiences. It's really important for us to address those kinds of patterns that show up for us from the root through the subconscious. So 2 more reversed cards came out for this divine feminine, kind of sharing some more insight or information on what could be happening through these throat sensations. One was the World card in the reverse position. I heard the desire to expand coming up against the fear, confronting the fear. And it's like, which are you going to choose? That's the question that's being presented by your higher self here, divine feminine. Are you going to choose on focusing on what could go wrong, or what is wrong, or what you perceive to be wrong within yourself, within your physical body, within your life, within your connections? Are you going to choose that fear, or are you going to choose the vision that you are expanding toward? Are you going to choose growth? Are you going to choose to love yourself enough to focus your energy in positive directions? Because you are worthy of experiencing those positive thoughts and emotions. Because you are worthy of where you are headed, of this expansion you are continuously moving into. But again, what is happening here through any negatively felt physical sensations, such as this throat tightness or throat discomfort for some, is really the tension between the desire for that expansion, that growth, and the fear. They are meeting here. The fear is meeting the desire. Now, do keep in mind, Divine Feminine, you could be feeling this kind of tension, this tension between your desires and your fears coming up in any area of life. This is absolutely not limited to twin flame connection specifically. This twin flame journey itself encompasses all areas of life, of course, career, money, finances, abundance, connection with others, even platonically. And this is because it's really a journey about us rebalancing and recalibrating our inner masculine and inner feminine energies, and also clearing out all of our blocks and conditions placed on love energy, essentially shifting us from a paradigm of conditional living and conditional loving to unconditional living and unconditional loving of self and others. So you could be experiencing this in so many different areas of your life. And also the card Rest and Rejuvenation is coming out for you as well. So if you are resonating with this message specifically, your spirit guides are really, really admonishing you to take the time you need to nourish yourself, to nurture your mind, body, and soul. I heard rest but don't quit, kind of that saying, the idea of taking breaks when you need to, taking time for yourself when you need to, knowing that if you feel more tired than usual, it means that the work you're doing is predominantly happening on the unconscious level, on the energy level. If it feels like you're not doing that much in the physical world and yet feeling really physically fatigued, it's because you are doing more than you know. It's just happening on these deeper levels of your being, on the very cellular level. And the ironic thing is, the thing that most of society can't see is that this energy work we do as spiritually awakening and awakened beings is actually much more physically taxing at times. It requires even more energy than manual labor, than doing physical things, which is why when we're living these physical lives, we have physical jobs and work and exertion of effort and energy that's required of us. But now we are doing this deep level energy work as well, this shifting, this healing of ourselves happening really unconsciously. This means it's essentially like taking on an additional job. If we want to think of it in 3D terms, it's like already working a full-time job and then taking on another job on top of that. And that's kind of what it's like when you're someone on this path of awakening. So all of that being said, take the time you need to rest, to rejuvenate yourself. Solar plexus chakra in the reverse position. So because this is a twin flame reading, naturally we are seeing a lot of those mirroring effects between twins. One of them, of course, was the Envy card in the reverse position, the Blossoming Abundance card in the upright position, and now the Solar Plexus Chakra card also coming out reversed for the Divine Feminine, just like it did for the Masculine. So just like the Divine Masculine is cultivating this core, authentic confidence within himself, I also heard setting boundaries. So there could be a Masculine figuring out how to set boundaries with some kind of negative or toxic influence in his life, whether this is a family member, a friend group, a job, an employer, a romantic interest of the past of some kind. I feel this could apply very differently for different masculines, but there's something about boundary setting there. I don't feel that will be for everyone, but for the Divine Feminine, this is coming up as well because both counterparts are developing a core sense of authentic confidence, but in a different way. I feel that for these twin flames I'm channeling, in the past, the Divine Masculine presented himself as a more confident person than the Divine Feminine when it came to work, when it came to career, to finances, potentially even to social situations and other things of a very 3D nature. However, the Divine Feminine, I feel, had a greater presentation of confidence in regards to speaking, communication, those kind of higher chakra centers, her intuition, etc. But overall, by society standards, I feel this Divine Feminine could have presented herself or appeared as weaker or less confident. Of course, this wasn't really the case. It's just that her confidence was in things that society doesn't always place as much value on: the spiritual arts, the creative arts, the communication of the hearts, the connection to the divine. However, now both counterparts are balancing their confidence. So whereas the masculine used to derive a lot of his confidence from those lower chakra centers, from physical or monetary security or structures in his life, he is now learning how to have more of a spiritual balance to his confidence, more of a divine connection involved with his confidence, meaning he is confident from a space of being more aware of who he truly is on a soul level through this spiritual awakening. Whereas the Divine Feminine on the other side of this is learning how to not only be confident in her creativity, in the spiritual side of self, in her divine connection, but also to be more confident when it comes to material things, to those lower chakra centers, to structures she is creating in her life. This is really just another way to conceptualize that integration of both counterparts of their inner masculine and inner feminine. So action reversed and attachment reversed both came out here in the reversed position. Interesting. I'm hearing there could be a Divine Feminine just feeling a bit out of sorts lately. But again, I feel this has a lot to do with all of the energy shifts she is both going through and also picking up from the masculine at this time. With the action card reversed, I'm feeling some self-judgment over her own stagnancy or perceived stagnancy at times. I don't feel this Divine Feminine feels this all the time, but I feel like there are moments where she looks at herself and says, what if I'm not moving forward fast enough? This could be in career, this could be in work when it comes to shifting her financial situation or just her healing in general. But I also feel that at times this self-judgments of the perceived stagnancy or slow growth of herself, which again, I don't feel happens all the time. I feel this just comes up for her occasionally, but when it does get triggered, I do feel that it projects outward at times to this externally manifested twin flame connection as well. Looking at this connection saying, it doesn't feel like things are moving forward fast enough, or at times even at all, or looking at the masculine saying, I am afraid that he is not growing or changing fast enough, or again, at all. However, what Spirit wants you to know here, whoever I'm connecting with here in the Divine Feminine Collective, is that although at times you may perceive yourself or your twin flame connection to either be stagnant or not moving forward or expanding quickly enough, what's really going on here both on the internal plane and on the so-called external plane with your twin flame, which is really just a reflection of the internal plane, is that attachments, things that have held you back for a long time, are being released, are being let go. I heard you held yourself back because you were afraid of your own power. That might connect with someone specifically. Hostilities reversed, though, speaks to ushering in this era of peace. I feel there's a Divine Feminine here who just in general values her own inner peace above all else. It's this feeling of, I am creating this harmonious, peaceful, beautiful life for myself, and I no longer can tolerate energies that contradict, that conflict with that peace I am now establishing in myself and my life. I also feel this is speaking to what we are moving towards as the Divine Feminine Collective, shifting from an era of turmoil, of conflicts, of anxiety, of fear, of disempowerment, of not seeing our true value and worth, shifting out of all of that and ushering in this era of peace, deep peace that manifests itself within and in all areas of our life. And it's a truly beautiful thing, but also it's a process, and a process that is not linear. And you are really being reminded of that at this time. I also feel I'm connecting with a Divine Feminine who is struggling with this dynamic of having this heightened energetic sensitivity through, of course, her ongoing spiritual awakening, and yet still having certain lower vibrational things in her life that she isn't yet sure or ready to shift out of. So she's either not sure how to shift out of them or not ready to, but yet these things are becoming more intolerable for her. It's becoming more difficult to tolerate these lower vibrational energies because, again, she has this heightened sensitivity to all forms of energy. So the presence of those things may feel as though at times it is heavier than it was before, or more difficult to handle or to be around. There's something about physically being around this thing. I feel this could be negative family members. This could be even a social circle, a romantic relationship that she feels is negatively affecting her, but she doesn't really know yet how to shift out of. This could be a career. This could show up in so many different ways for her. But again, she's being reminded to be gentle with herself. This is a process. It doesn't happen all at once. You are on divine timing. Everything is unfolding for you. Remember all of the reasons to be so proud of yourself, because you have a tendency to only focus on what you haven't yet accomplished or the parts of yourself you haven't yet become, and a tendency to overlook everything that you have become and everything that you have overcome. So just take a moment, whether it's now or after listening to this reading, to really self-appreciate, meaning to really connect in with your own value and worth. Make lists of things about yourself, your life, your accomplishments that you are grateful for, because when you really tune into this self-love, society believes that being truly full of yourself, meaning fully reconnected with yourself, fully self-loving, is selfish. But it's not selfish in the negative sense. Being appreciative of yourself, loving yourself, that self-love is actually so much a part of what this twin flame path is here to teach us. And also, by loving yourself, you are radiating this magnetic, beautiful, truly healing love energy to those around you, the people close to you, and even the people on the other side of the world. You are uplifting all of collective consciousness through the power of your own knowing of your own worth, your own self-love. So don't underestimate that, Divine Feminine. This is feeling like a really good place to go ahead and close out this reading with a Rumi Oracle card, because we are getting close to an hour long on this reading. So I will be channeling the higher self messages, the more love specific, soul deep messages from both the masculine and feminine to one another in the extended version of this reading, as well as, of course, answering all of the questions and diving deeper into the topics that came up in or throughout the reading, which, for a refresher, all of those are listed in the pinned comment and description box, so you can see what we're going to channel more about in that extended reading. But for now, I do want to read a little bit from this card. Of course, this card comes out so frequently, but it's the impossible made possible, the number 9 card. I'm also hearing someone could be seeing a lot of the number 9 or the number 999. So I am going to read a little bit about this card from the guidebook. Love brings the sea into boiling. and turns the mountain into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnitude. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, we only limit what we believe to be possible by our lack of imagination. The divine has recourse to all that is and all that is yet to be. What strongholds can resist love? It is like water. It seeps into every available space and changes form to survive in every environmental condition. It carves the earth into shape and form. Where it is, there is life. Such is the adaptable intelligence and persistence of water, just as is the power of love. So now you are being guided by this loving power to drop the doubt, shed the incredulity, and open up the mind. Allow your imagination to be inspired. The universe wants something to happen for you, something beautiful, something utterly improbable, something perfect for your path, for your own divine destiny. Your mind will wonder if it is possible. People around you may wonder the same thing, but your heart will burn for it to become real, to become more than a fantastic, improbable dream. You'll want it with all your soul. You may not even be consciously aware as yet what this great desire is, but your heart knows. It holds the secret knowledge and will unveil it when your mind can handle it. When your heart is much more powerful than your mind, you won't unintentionally block the incredible grace of manifestation seeking to pour into your thirsty soul like the sweetest, purest waters of blessing. Wow, what a beautiful place to close out this reading. Again, the extended messages are all linked in the pinned comment and description box. I will also be leaving links to different subliminal meditations I would really recommend as we are closing out this reading to assist you in not only understanding these energies through the readings, but also taking conscious control of shifting the energy of yourself and your situation, whether it's in your life, in regards to finances, in work, or with your twin flame specifically, to shift free of these patterns that are really subconsciously stored patterns that may have held you back in the past, and really magnetize your energy through the portal of the subconscious mind for attracting whatever it is that you desire. So I will leave links to the subliminals I would recommend for those of you resonating with this reading. If you do sign up for a free trial account on my subliminals website, soundandsoulful.com, you do get access to all of the more than 100, it's really close to about 140 subliminals I've created, including all of my twin flame subliminals. Specifically, I would most recommend my twin flame 7 chakra clearing subliminal at this time, because there is so much activating and shifting energetically between the twins, and this will really help you to uproot and release any negative patterns or blockages that could be affecting your twin flame connection in the present, in real time. So I will leave links to that, as well as the 2 subliminals I recommended previously to the Divine Feminines resonating with the messages about anxiety and these unconscious patterns coming up. Those are my deep anxiety relief subliminal, as well as my throat chakra activation. So those 3 subliminals will be linked under this video, but of course you can explore around the site and add any other subliminals that resonate with you or your situation to your personal private playlists. So thank you so much again for being here, for being such a powerful and important co-creator in this community here on YouTube. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will talk to you again in Friday's reading.